Welcome to Tech Diet. Let's dive into our today's problem, buddy strings. It says you are given two string S and goal. We have to return true if we can make a swap of two letters in S so that the resultant string is equal to the goal. Otherwise, we'll just return false. So it's a mandatory swap. The index could not be equal to itself. So there should be two mandatory out of the order letters in S that are out of order in goal. So let's look at some of the test cases. Okay, here strings match, um, but if we make a swap it will not match, so it's false. Okay, surprisingly here also strings match, but since the character a is also equal to a, so if we make a swap that will still turns to a, so that's why it's true. So we have a case here. Let's say if s is equal to my goal, right? So in case there is one letter which is repeated twice, then we can return true for sure, right? If there is a letter repeated twice, so we can swap them and output to the same goal string. So now we have a case here, a b and b a. Here, okay, length should always match. Length matches, and out of order letters are 2, so both a and b are out of order, so it is 2. So let's take a example here. So here also we'll make a swap a and c, so we'll land up again. But if it has acb, so all the characters are out of it, right? Even though the length match, the it's out of order is 3, so there's no way I can just to make one swap in s and reach to the goal. So that means out of order match should be equal to 2 always. So that's our condition. The other case could be like maybe something like this. If the character set doesn't match, so the length matches but the character set doesn't match, so that's also an issue. So we need to count how many characters. So here we have to do something called frequency count, and then we need to keep track of how many are of similar kinds. And so okay, let's start building it. Let's simulate this situation. First thing is, like, we are always doing this thing when the length matches, right? There's no point of comparing something like ab and something like this. So they cannot be made similar even after so many swappies. So the length should match. The next thing is we need to, let's iterate it through any of them because lengths match. And we'll here have I plus plus. Okay, we need to keep track of frequencies. Let's keep track of frequencies. Call it int is equal to new int. Okay, it says we can have just lowercase letters, so we'll have 26 are upper bound. So now we can say, let's okay, have the characters from this string at that index, and the frequency of c minus a would be incremented. We found one c, and here okay, let's find the other character as well since the length matches. So we have here my other character. Here we have frequency d minus a should be incremented. Now we can say, okay, we can decrement it. So, and here we can check if this frequency has been greater than 1. So that means we found some element that is repeated twice. Let's say this is found twice, we can mark it as true, declare it here. Twice is equal to false. Okay, this, let's say aa is there, so we'll increment it and then we'll decrement it. It will never reach it here, right? So maybe we can have a new list just to keep track of that. Have a match list, and we can operate on that match list which is not overwritten by the other uh, goal. string. So we can say match of c minus a is greater than 1, then we have found something twice. Okay, so after that we can check if my count is 0. So we can keep track of how many out of orders are there, right? That's also we need to do. We can say if my out of order count is 0, that means these strings match, right? But we need to keep track how many out of orders are there. So for that we can say c is not equal to d, that means they are out of order. I can count plus something, and I can return int count is equal to 0. So if it is 0, that means they are same strings, and if they are same, we know there could be one two choices: either they are same and there's no character that is repeated twice, so we can just say whether we have something found twice or not. If we have found, then we can return true, otherwise based upon whatever the behavior of this would be. So now we'll say we have handled this case. uh, if the character set doesn't match, we are calculating frequency here, right? So maybe we can traverse through it. If at any point my m goes negative, so that means it was present in goal but it wasn't present in s, because from goal we are subtracting, so we can return false here. Otherwise if this goes around, that means we can return true. We can return true only if my count is equal to 2, so we can return true, otherwise false. If there are more than 2 out of order, then we should, because here it was 3 and we cannot swap them, so we should return false. So that's the check here. uh, so here it's like character set match but out of order. We need to check out of order count, and here we are checking against do character set match. We do know the length matches. So yeah, let's try to hit run. C not equal to D. There's no character called D. Okay, we are defining it late. Let's define it early. Okay, so if the length is not same, we just return false. Okay, looks like this is working. Submit. Okay, this works. Thank you.